So my name's Nikki White and I am an artist. I'm from Toronto. I was actually born and raised in Mississauga. I do all kinds of things. So I just say artist in general, but I've always been creative, like ever since I was 5. I started drawing myself with the red hair. So that was always my signature thing. I always wanted to be an artist. So doing anything artistic, anything crafty was always where I had the most fun. And then going from elementary school into high school, then they like afford you a few more liberties with what you can do. And there was like classes that were like communications technology, which is also kind of where I ended up. And that's when you combine the computer with art. And I'm like, okay, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to be the person making these creative things and combining these two. I always say I'm just myself as a kid, but grown up and with more money. Well, with money, obviously. So I'm still into the same that I was into when I was 5 onwards, honestly. So like huge things. Anime, like when Sailor Moon first came to Canada, that was like peak, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Hello Kitty, another huge one. And I think I always say that anybody who's like into Sanrio or Hello Kitty had their first experience where someone they knew had something. Like I think it was, I was on a bus and I was 4 or 5 and someone had a pencil case and I'm like, I want that. What is that? So then from there it was game over. Like a hoarder in here with all this cute stuff. So I built my own portfolio. I taught myself whatever skills I could beyond what I already knew. And then that's when I got my first like big kid job, as I say, which was in corporate doing graphic design with cartoons, which I thought was like peak at the moment. I was like, this is where, it was a company I wanted to work for. I think the more you put into the things that you love, the more you realize maybe I don't love my day job. Whatever it is, I was just done with it. So that was 7 years. I don't regret it. Like it was good experience. But then after 7 years, I was like, I'm done. I'm jumping ship. So the full name of my store is Glitter Bones Boutique. I think the blurb on my website talks about taking cute and dark and introducing them, and you watch as the relationship flourishes, blossoms, and then it all ends in a bitter and cold divorce. So that's really, like, I would say me and my aesthetic in both fashion and like who I am as a person. Like maybe I'm dressed super cute one day, or maybe one day I'm back to my goth kid emo roots. It's like mixing those two elements is really fun and aesthetically pleasing for me. So it's like the super pastel pink, like all this stuff, but then also the skulls and the gothy elements. I do a bunch of different things. Like we've got the smaller things like the pins, the patches, stickers, and then I'm trying to move more into a bit more, like I was talking about fashion, a bit more fashion oriented stuff. Like one of our big sellers is the berets that we embroider. So there's like cute strawberry berets. Easy. Yeah, the berets are a big thing, and that's like something that's hands-on, so that's fun to do and rewarding in its own way. And we sell like stationery, like lifestyle items, drinkware, all that kind of stuff, like what I can do in this apartment basically. Branched out into bags. Some of the bags we embroider here in house. Anything that's been screen printed, Kenneth, my boyfriend, does. So yeah, we just do what we can do having a small Toronto apartment space. I would love to eventually branch out more into fashion and clothing, but I would also want to be inclusive, which means multiple sizes, which means lots of storage space, which I don't currently have. I wasn't even trying to do a character at first. I think I just wanted to do a sticker, and I was like, I want this cute, kind of fluffy character, and I want him to be holding a salt shaker that says officially salty. So that's where he came from. I want this character to kind of have this cute, fluffy exterior, but like he's pissed off. So that's kind of where Osito started. And he didn't have a name at the time. He was just a bear. I don't know why. That's what happened. And on his paw, I signed my initials. So I just put NW on the paw. And then I was like, wait a minute, this guy's like super cute. And people like them. They're like, this thing is so cute. Like, I think people were probably asking me, does he have a name? And I'm like, I don't know. So from there, I was like, you know what? Why not, bring it back? Just like Glitter Bones is paying homage to my Mexican heritage. I was like, why not call him Osito, which is like kind of the cutesy form of bear. As in Spanish, oso is bear, but Osito, when you add the ito, it's like making something cute. And that's kind of what I'm all about. Okay, that's good to know. So he's kind of taking over as almost like a mascot, you could say, of my tables. So more and more at my conventions, you'll see a lot of him. So he's kind of taking over branding wise, which is kind of different from the pink pastel, but everything's still very pink, but he's like these kind of creamy colors that blends in. But I don't know what it's going to look like in the future. I don't know if he's going to take over completely and he becomes a thing, because I made him his own Instagram, which is Stay Fluffy Club. He's a fluffy guy. I'm glad to say I've out-earned my corporate gig, which I didn't think I'd ever do. So I've definitely out-earned my corporate job, which is amazing, because I'm on my own doing it. And then, my income has gone up, I think, every year since 2022. And Glitter Bones is still being a bigger part of that pie, which is awesome. And I would say for me, online is like pretty dead. Hello. But where I shine is in person. So when I do these events, and that's why I've been traveling across Canada to do these conventions, because that's when people see me versus online. I'm lost in the sea of... Okay. I'm lost in the sea of everybody else selling online. But in person, when people are just walking by, that's when all this sea of pink catches their eye, or they see Osito or something and you hear that squeal and they come over. So that's really where that pie has been growing as I travel and I do more conventions in person. That's kind of been the biggest joy in things, is working on things that I love. Whether or not you love doesn't matter, because I like doing it and I had fun. And there are people, and that's what I see when I'm in person selling, that's like people do love this and there is that reaction. So if I get discouraged from online being like, okay, like online's dead and nobody is finding me, I kind of get re-energized when people see my stuff and they actually see it and they're like, this is awesome and we love it and this character is adorable. That kind of reminds you why you're doing it.
2 months old. I put it in my backpack. So when I go to school and someone talks to me,
I escaped the corporate life just to take on corporate clients, but it's on my own terms, which I love, compared to, oh, can I take time off? I need time off, or can I do this? Like, I have to self-manage, which is good and bad. Good because I can technically say, hey, I'm taking 2 weeks off to travel. Bad because sometimes I have trouble saying no, and I just take on more and more and more client work, which means Glitter Bones kind of gets pushed to the side, and then I think like, oh my gosh, I'm back in corporate world where I'm working full-time for clients and not myself. So I'm still struggling and trying to figure out that balance. Like, I can't complain. At least I've had steady client work, so I'm not a starving artist. But it's tough because I want to give more time to Glitter Bones, which is like my baby, and I love it and I love doing that. But also need to make money. So between both, making it work. But ultimately, I would love to eventually drop the client side of things and freelance and just focus 100% on my art. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Okay, see you. Bye.